Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Anime King 2, and today I'm going to be giving you part 22 of What If Naruto Was a Vampire. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Orochimaru Was Naruto's father, and enjoy that guys. And over on Anime King, I post a new episode of What If Kaguya Was Naruto's mother, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And later on, I'm going to be posting a brand new episode of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans, so stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support guys, and yeah, without further ado, let's begin this new episode. Begin the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their
So, the last time we left off, Naruto told X that he wouldn't kill him, as he didn't deserve to born this way. He never asked for any of this, as he told him he could help him. As he extended his hand, but suddenly Naruto was pulled into a different world, as he was facing a man who was floating above the water. As the man introduced himself as a sage of six paths, he told Naruto that dangerous foes are coming to this world, and he believed he's the only one who can stop them. As he told Naruto he knew about Eva, but he didn't intervene because he found out that she wasn't a threat. She just came here as an escape, and she was doing good, helping him as well. But now, people from her world is coming here, and they're going to bring great destruction. Meanwhile, Eva and the others dealt with sorcery, as sorcerer was dead. As Eva came to assist Naruto to find out what is going on, as X was there. The both of them then took off as they went after a flying Deidara, as they catch him in the forest. In the end, Deidara exploded, but Naruto shielded Eva along with her crystal and his crystal, as the both of them just stared in each other's eyes once the explosion was over. The other group then arrived along with Gaara, as Lady Chiyo sacrificed her life. They then went to the Sand Village, as all of that was over, as they had Lady Chiyo memorial and her burial, as there was a small celebration party for Gaara. And the next day, the group was heading off back to Konoha. On their way there, along with their new friend X, they got attacked as all of their faces were planted into the ground, as Eva was beyond shock, as she was scared. How could this be, she wondered, as a man in pure black floating above them, as he had string symbols on his arm, and every time he used his power, the symbols would light up, as his name was Remiel. As he told Eva they had a connection, seeing that they used to make sweet, passionate love. As Naruto was surprised when he heard that, as Eva begged for him not to bring her back there. As Remiel told her he was out of his hands, but Naruto appeared and attacked him, as Naruto delivered a powerful fist to his face that sent him flying away. But he then came back a few seconds later, as he said that there were some strong people on this earth indeed. As he told them he was just a scout, that he was just here to report his findings. As he told Eva that soon enough she will be the thing to protect her friends or to watch them fall. And with that he vanished, as the group headed back to Konoha, as Tsunade was drinking a huge bottle of sake as she was taking in all of this information, as Eva was with Ezekiel's son. But when he found out that she was a vampire, as she trusted him enough to tell him, he tried to kill her, and in the end she retaliated and she killed him. And he said that he wouldn't let her die. Seeing off her remarkable healing ability, he tortured her for years upon years, until she finally escaped with her brother. And in the end, Marcos got killed by Ezekiel, and that is how she came to this earth. So yeah guys, that was basically the last part we left off. You guys can search your cosplays and check it out for yourself, so let's start this new episode. We start this episode a day after the encounter with Remiel, as there was a rift being tear open in space and time right into the Naruto universe. The rift then got wider and wider until it ripped open completely, as Remiel then stepped inside of the Naruto universe. He then went on his knees as smoke was coming from him. "He's not perfect yet," he said, as Ezekiel then stepped inside behind of him. Behind Ezekiel, a local mage tried to step inside, but his body was instantly burned to a crisp as he dropped dead as he couldn't enter the universe. "Stop," said Ezekiel. "Our technology is not fully yet complete. The scientific mages are still working on this kind of dimension traveling, seeing that none of you can come in yet. Your strength is not on my or Remiel's level." As Ezekiel looked around as he looked at Naruto universe. "Stay behind until further notice," he said, as the rift then vanished. He then started to walk as he was on top of a mountain. He didn't have the manpower right now to take over this world, seeing that they just ended a war with the Ferris and the Wolf. It took down a lot of his powerful mages. The Alpha Wolf killed a lot of his mages, and the King Fairy slaughtered a lot of them. But in the end they were victorious, but they lost a lot of manpower. "Remiel, have you gathered the necessary information?" asked Ezekiel. "Yes. There is a group that is after the boy that is with Eva. They call themselves the Akatsuki. I believe we should go to them. We can aid them in their capturing of that boy, and in the process get closer to Eva and bring her back. But sir, we can just leave right now. We still have things to deal with back at our own universe. We can just leave Eva be." Suddenly, a dark presence erupted from Ezekiel as Remiel quickly went down on his knees as the pressure was too much. "Did I ask your opinion?" asked Ezekiel as he looked down at Remiel. "She will suffer for killing my son, and she will not die. Her torturing is not finished, and she will receive it in full force. Now guide me to this group, now," he said. "As you wish, sir," said Remiel as he got up, as the both of them headed off. Meanwhile, at Konoha, Eva was sleeping, as cold sweats were all over her, as she was currently dreaming. As she was having a dream, Eva was stuck on a chair, as Ezekiel was in the room. Standing over her were all sorts of mages, as they had scalpels and all kind of weapons, as Eva cried out in pain as she was being tortured. She then jumped up in the real world as she was sweating all over. "Eva," said Naruto. "Calm down, I'm here," he said, as Eva started to cry as she remembered those days. He tortured her for years upon years. He wouldn't let her die no matter what. They kept her locked up, deprived of blood. Only when they saw that she would turn mummified, that they gave her some blood so that she wouldn't turn mummified, so she would receive each and every agonizing pain. As Eva started to cry on Naruto's shoulder, the group was no longer in Naruto's apartment, as they had to buy a bigger apartment, seeing that X is now staying with them. After explaining the situation to Tsunade, which Tsunade found completely ridiculous, him to be a clone of Naruto, as she wouldn't put that past Orochimaru or his lackeys though. And after further inspection, she went over a full diagnostics and checked him completely. She didn't find anything strange about him, but his body was just like Naruto's, as his healing abilities go. He has the Kyuubi's chakra inside of him, but it runs through his veins. Like normal chakra, it can run out and then replenish after a while. But Naruto has an endless supply from the fox, but his can go low and then replenish after a while like normal chakra. And as for his healing abilities, they are great, but not as great as Naruto, as it will take him time to heal back an arm. The group is now in one of the minor houses of the Namikaze compound, as after going through records, Tsunade realized that the Namikaze compound, even though it's not being shown since a seal protect the entire area, not showing the house. A huge part of the house was destroyed in the Kyuubi's attack that night. Naruto already knew that his father is Minato Namikaze, and Tsunade decided that it's more of them now. They should get a bigger property. Even though it will take some time for the main house to be repaired, they are still living in the minor houses, which were quite big. As Eva told Naruto that she couldn't sleep alone, as she was getting night terrors, and Naruto told her that he would be there for her. Yujito has spent the time talking to X and telling him about things in Konoha, saying she was the same way when she got here. She never really knew much, and it was getting late and the both of them end up falling asleep. Not together, as X was on the couch and Yujito took the bed. As Naruto let Eva cried on his shoulder, "It'll be alright," he said as he stroked her hair. "What if it isn't?" she said, as she then pulled back and looked him directly in the eyes. "Naruto, they're strong. I mean really strong. And by the way, they know that we are vampires. They know how to kill us. And I already told you, Eva, it doesn't matter who or what they are. I will never let them take you." As Eva looked at him and smiled, as she thought to herself, she couldn't let anything happen to Naruto. She couldn't let him be harmed. So if it comes up to it, if they can't win, she's going to sacrifice herself. She's going to go back. She will take all of the torturing and everything, if that means making him live and be alright. But she couldn't tell him that because she knew he will fight against it and he wouldn't let that happen. And that would end up getting him killed, and she don't want that. As she then lie back down, using his arm as a pillow, as Naruto lay there, as he looked up in the ceiling. "Everything will be fine," he said, as she slowly fell back asleep. As Naruto was feeling sleepy, he closed his eyes. "Hello," said a voice, as he opened them. As he looked around, he was in a strange place, with a sage floating right in front of him. "Huh? I thought I was getting some sleep," Naruto said. "You were, but I have called your subconscious here. It's time that we talk. They have arrived." "Huh? Where?" Naruto asked. "I don't know exactly, but I can sense the breach in this world. They are here." "So, how exactly am I going to find them?" Naruto said. "That is the thing. I believe they will be finding you. They want that girl, Eva, and they will stop at no chance to get her back. Especially the leader. I can sense it. When he entered the world, there was malice and hatred coming from him." "Why is he after her so badly?" the sage asked. "Well, it seems like she killed his son," said Naruto. "Retaliation. And now he wants her to suffer. And I'm guessing, Uzumaki, you're not going to allow that." "Damn right I'm not," said Naruto. "I won't let anyone hurt Eva." As the sage calmly smirked at Naruto. "Huh? What's with the smirk?" Naruto asked. "That is why I believe you're the right one. You're the one that's chosen," said the sage. "Even though you know the risks, you're willing to risk everything to protect her and anyone else. That is why I respect you, Uzumaki. Soon enough, I will grant you and your friend with my power." "My friend?" said Naruto. "Your clone, the one who you call X. He's a big part in this. You will need his help to defeat the upcoming danger." "Huh, I see now," said Naruto. "Good thing I didn't went overboard and actually killed him." As the sage chuckled, "Good thing," he said. Time skip. The next day, it was now in the evening, as we currently have the masked man, as he was currently sitting down on a rock. Beside him was Zetsu. "We lost Sorcery. Deidara has been heavily wounded, but he should be patched up and fine after some time." "But we got the one tail," Zetsu said. "Well, that's good," the masked man said. He then saw something strange in front of him. There was something appearing out of thin air like that. It was like his jutsu, where he could just reappear and appear out of a swirling vortex. But a breach opened in front of him, as two people walked out. "Who are you?" the masked man said. "We're not your enemies," said Ezekiel, as he stepped forward. "How did you find me?" the masked man said. "We're here to talk, nothing more. We're here to offer our help." "Your help?" said the masked man curiously. "Yes," said Remiel. "We've heard that you've been searching and hunting down a boy of this world. I have gathered information to know that you want some sort of beast that resided in him." "Some sort of beast? Don't you know about the Bijus and the Jinjulkis?" asked Obito. "Well, you see, we're not from this world." "What?" said the masked man. "Yes," said Ezekiel. "We're not from this dimension. And one of our problems has come into your world, and it had helped that boy that you are currently seek. As you know, he's strong. I believe the power that ye have granted him, along with his already physical power, and that beast you guys talk about inside of him. He should be strong enough to be a dangerous foe to you guys." The problem that we're talking about, her name is Eva, said Ezekiel. She came from my world coming here, running from me, and I want her back. I can help you retrieve this boy, as long as we work together, and in the end I take Eva and leave. The masked man narrowed his eyes under his mask. How do you find out that much about me and this world if you're not from here, he asked. I've been observing for a long time, said Remiel. Well, if you have, you probably already know where this person, Eva, is. So why come to me? Why ask for my help? And ask me to help you in return? Well, you see, my forces cannot come to this world as of yet. And I need power and strength. From what Remiel told me, the village that the boy resides in has a lot of people, a lot of fighters. And I would need you guys' aid to help me remove the obstacles while I take what belongs to me. And in return, you can take that boy, and we leave this earth. So, it's a quick partnership. What do you say? Asked Ezekiel. And why should I trust you? Asked the masked man. That's it. You shouldn't. You shouldn't trust anyone. But we're not looking for trust. We're just looking for help. Once I have got what I wanted, I will leave this place and never return. And you can take the boy. And that will be that. As the masked man stood there for a few seconds quiet. Another world, huh? He then said. About this world, what power resides in it, he asked. Do we have a deal, said Ezekiel. Well, if you just want her and go, then we do. But if you interfere with my plans, I will kill you, said the masked man. Spoken like a true fighter. No questions asked. I respect that, said Ezekiel. And yes, the only thing I want is her, Eva, and nothing more. So as long as I have her, you guys can do what you want. So do we have a deal? As I said, yes, said the masked man. Meanwhile, Naruto along with X was in a training field, as both Eva and Yujito were standing on the sidelines. Come on, show me what you got, said Naruto. X dashed towards Naruto as he pulled back his fist and then thrust it forward, but Naruto caught his fist in his palm as there was a boom, as a shockwave spread around them. Strong, but not strong enough, said Naruto as he pulled X towards him and sank his fist into X's stomach. X's eyes went wide as Naruto flipped him over and slammed him straight down into the ground as the ground cracked under the weight. But X pushed up himself as he delivered a powerful uppercut to Naruto's chin as he knocked Naruto in the ear. In a split second, he dashed behind Naruto as he grabbed onto Naruto's hands, as he then twisted his body and twisted Naruto as well as he came spinning out of the air as the both of them drive hard down into the ground, but at the last second X jumped away, making Naruto's body impact with the ground as X smirked as he got up. But his eyes then went wide as the ground started to crack beneath him, as Naruto burst out of the ground and grabbed him by the throat, as Naruto slammed him into the ground with great force. Naruto then delivered a powerful kick to his side that sent him flying as he break through a couple of trees. No, said Yujito, as Eva noticed that. Eva then narrowed her eyes at Yujito. You have been spending a lot of time with X. Huh? What do you mean by that? Said Yujito. Well, for one thing, you know that he's a vampire as well. So those wounds he can heal from that. And you know that he and Naruto desire to get stronger, so they won't be holding back. You even know and see when me and Naruto train, that battle is brutal. So comparing to that, this is nothing. I guess you're right. But I've not been spending a lot of time with him, she said. Yeah, you have been. You even slept over his place last night. As she was stuttering. You did, Eva said. I saw you early this morning leaving. Well, that's just because we were talking and I was telling him about this world. And telling him about the village and all that. He really know much. Even though he got the memories, Kabuto didn't really implant everything in his head. I was the same thing when I first arrived at this village. I was confused at first, but you guys helped me. So I want to be there for him to help him as well. What's that supposed to mean, said Yujito. I didn't say anything. I just said, It's still something, she said. They then saw X's body flying as it crashed into the clearing, creating a huge crater as Naruto landed beside him. Well then, I guess that is that, he said, as X was on the ground, groaning in pain, as he slowly picked up himself, as he placed his bone back in his socket, as he moved his hand. Damn it, that hurt, he said. It will, said Naruto. In a real fight, the person will not be holding back on you. When we first met, you charging blindly on me. You got in a few hits, but even though you're not as strong as I am, said Naruto, even though we have the same abilities. Well, I do have something above you, said X. And what is that, Naruto asked. Well, these, X said, as he stared into Naruto's eyes. As Naruto was brought to a world of pure darkness, as Naruto smirked, suddenly the world started to crack and then shatter, as X felt the overwhelming presence. What the hell is this, he said. That's the true power of the Nine-Tails chakra, Naruto said, as they were back in the real world, as X was gasping. The Sharingan doesn't do much for you, said Naruto. It's not as powerful yet, until you receive the Mangeto Sharingan. The Mangeto Sharingan? What's that? Well, after spending 3 years with the fox, I gained a lot of knowledge from him. It seems like the Sharingan has another level that's called the Eternal Sharingan. Well, Eternal Mangeto Sharingan, if I am correct. It gives you far greater ability, such as something called Amaterasu, black flames that burn anything they touch. Itachi used that on me once. And trust me, if you get your entire body in that can completely incinerate you. So watch out for that. And you also have another ability that Kurama told me about. It's called the Susanoo, to create a giant humanoid figure. And there is a stronger genjutsu that people cannot break out of. It's called the Tsukuyomi. So how do I get that, X asked excitedly. How do I get the Maringon Sharingan? It's called the Mangeto Sharingan, said Naruto. And that's quite tricky. Kurama told me that you have to kill your best friend, someone close to you, or witness something very tragic. X then turned at Naruto. Kill your best friend, huh? He said, as Naruto looked at him, as X chuckled. Huh, so you think we're best friends, said Naruto. Well, not really, X said, but you're becoming a close friend of mine, seeing that we're basically family to say. Yeah, that's we are, said Naruto, as Yujito and Eva walk up to them. Hey, X, you okay? Asked Yujito. Huh? Said Naruto, as everyone turned at him. I thought you would have asked me if I'm okay, but you're more worried about X, huh? So, stop caring about me? Said Naruto. No, it's not that, she said. You were the one who won the battle. Don't worry, Naruto, I am here for you, said Eva. So, you okay? My arm hurts, said Naruto. Come on, let me give it a kiss, she said, as she kissed his arm. All better, she asked. Yeah, it's all, but Naruto was cut off as a fist planted in his face that sent him flying into the forest. What was that for? Asked Yujito, as she looked at Eva. As Yujito cracked her neck. X, Yujito, I think you guys should get out of the way. As the forest exploded as chakra blew away the trees. It's time for me and Naruto to spar. So, you ready, Naruto? Said Eva, as she flexed her muscles, as Naruto chuckled. You know I'm always ready, he said, as the both of them dashed forward. Meanwhile, at the hidden ring. What? Said Nagato. Who are these? They're from a different dimension, said Madara as he looked at Nagato. His name is Ezekiel, and his is Remiel. They're going to help us take down the Nine-Tails, while they take something that belonged to their world. It seems that the Nine-Tails has gotten some help. He has become quite strong with the help of a girl named Eva. She is a vampire. Vampire? What's that? Asked Nagato. Well, it's an immortal being that can heal from any attacks, even devastate attacks or movement of limbs from their bodies. Yes, the only way you can kill them is to get close enough. It's to take off their head that will leave them suspended for a moment, and then you incinerate their entire body. But without that, they cannot die. But, said Remiel, it's gonna be hard to get to them. Back in our world, it took hundreds of soldiers to try and subdue Eva at first. She wiped out all the lesser mages like they were nothing. And plus your world has some different ability than ours. They can learn. And especially that kid with the beast inside of him. What do you say his name was? Naruto? Said Remiel. Yes, said Nagato. So imagine him with that power and immortality as well. It's gonna be hard for you guys to defeat him. What about this girl? Asked Nagato. What if she get in our way? This is part of our agreement. I don't want Eva dead, said Ezekiel. She must pay for her crimes back at our own world. She will not die so easily. Very well, said Nagato. Once we locate them, you guys are free to take this Eva girl, as long as you help us obtain the Biju inside of the Jinjulki. That's acceptable, said Ezekiel. Sometime later, Ezekiel and Remiel were on top of a cliff as they were looking down at the forest below them. So what is the true plan? Asked Remiel after checking to see if anyone was watching them. Soon enough we will break and come in this world completely with everyone. Once that is done, we can take seize of this world and use it to our advantage. The soldiers in this world are powerful. We can take them back to our world and use them to face off against our enemies. Use them as a suicide squad. Send them into the greatest den, into dangerous territories. So if they manage to somehow kill even the enemy boss or something like that, we can go up and finish the job. So we will just buy our time for now, until it's the right time for us to strike. But I can tell, that one in the chair, that strange construction, he was strong. Those eyes of his. It seems this world has a lot to offer. And I want to know more, said Ezekiel. But for now, I want to see how strong this village Konoha is, or how strong Eva has gotten. What do you mean, sir? Asked Remiel. We're going to send text subject F. Sir, but no questions, he said. Get me in contact immediately. As Remiel nodded, as he started to form some strange symbols as they floated in the air. The space started to turn until the rift was torn open, as two people rushed towards it. Sir, the both of them said, as he gave a sharp bow. Get me, Project F, he said. But sir, it is unstable. Get it now, he said. Alright, sir, the both of them said, as they ran off. They then came back, as he had a box, as he threw it right through the rift, as Remiel caught it. How is the medical going? He asked. Our man, the wounded, are slowly recovering from the recent battles. I believe when the time is ready, all of them should be at full health. But sir, one of them whispered, Project F is too dangerous to use. You know it can go berserk and even attack you. And it's gonna take a lot to contain. The leader is here, you don't have to worry about that, said Remiel as he looked over at Ezekiel. Well, that's good, sir. But what are you going to use this on? A village, said Remiel. But you know you cannot be in anywhere, even close to that village once you do, because it will affect you as well. Yes, I know. But time is running short. Make sure everything is prepared once we get back. As the both of them bow, as the rift closed. As Remiel then walked up to Ezekiel and gave him the box. Ezekiel opened the box. There was a very small tube in the box, with strange liquid inside of it. Set a course for Konoha, said Ezekiel, as he took out the tube. As Remiel then opened a breach, as the both of them stepped inside. The both of them arrived, hovering over Konoha, as they looked down at the village. There is a barrier just below us. Once we enter the village, we would be detected, even if you breached inside. Yes, I know that, sir, said Remiel. But this object shouldn't be noticed as anything. But once it starts to form, I believe their senses will go on haywire. Well, let's just wait and see, he said, as he dropped the small tube. The tube landed inside of Konoha, as the sensors didn't notice it as he thought. As Remiel and Ezekiel then breached away as they appear on a mountain a distance away from Konoha. Meanwhile, with a small object, two kids were playing on the road as they noticed the object. "What the hell is this?" they said, as they walked over it and started to poke it. But suddenly a gas emerged as the both of them stepped back as their mother ran outside. "Boys, what is going on?" she asked. "Well, this thing just dropped from the sky." "Huh?" she said, as she noticed the gas started to change. It started to change until it turned into a creature. The woman's eyes went wide as everyone heard a scream. They looked to see a giant. It was like a demonic dog. It had two heads with long, sharp fangs and claws that tear into the ground, as it was bigger than any building. As the village quickly started to go into chaos, but that is exactly what it needed, as this dog feeds on fear. The more fear, the more powerful it gets. And when it became too wild, it started to release wave of just mass destruction that would tear everything around into pieces. Even though it attacked everything in sight, its favorite thing to seek out is vampires. This was created specially for them. They used to use it to hunt vampires, but it became too unstable, so they started to seal it away and use it only for desperate situations where there is a large group of vampires, and for the mages to not interfere or they would be killed. The more fear, the more powerful it gets. Meanwhile, in the office, Tsunade was going through some paper. She then heard a huge explosion. In a second, 3 envoys landed beside her. "Ma'am," one of them said, with a dog mask as he was bowing. "There is some sort of beast tearing through the village." Tsunade's eyes went wide. "Beast? What kind of beast?" she asked. "We have not seen this before. It's like some wild dog with 2 heads. And it's getting more powerful. It has a distinctive aura around it." It then hit the office as Tsunade could feel power radiating from that part of the village. "What the hell?" she said. As Shizune burst into the office, Lady Tsunade, big trouble. "Envoys, quickly, gather up all the Jonin that you could find and try and subdue that thing before it causes more damage to the village." As all of them nodded and flashed away, as Tsunade noticed the destruction as she saw the smoke and where it was going. She knew where Naruto and the others were, and she saw the line where the dog was going. He was going in that path. As the ravished dog still teared through the village as he opened one of his mouth, as a white beam burst from it and incinerated 5 houses like nothing as it started to destroy everything. It then sniffed as a creepy grin came on its face as it started to run, destroying and crushing people under its path. Meanwhile, Eva and Naruto and Yujito and X was lying down on the ground, just looking up at the sky, as the entire place was a mess after their little training scenario. Eva's eyes then snapped to the left. As she got up, "What's wrong?" Naruto asked. As Eva started to shake, as Naruto noticed that, as Eva started to have flashes of her own world, her vampire friends, as the giant dog ripped through their spine, tearing off their heads. As this dog attacked them once before, that was the same power, the same feeling. How? As she was shaking. "What's going on?" Naruto asked her. Naruto?" Yujito said, as she pointed ahead of them. "My god," X said, as Naruto turned his head to see the giant dog rushing towards them. The dog quickly leapt up in the air. It then came down as all of them jumped away with a boom. The entire ground exploded as the 4 of them were in mid-air. The dog opened its mouth as 2 beams of light erupted and started to incinerate everything around them. As Naruto noticed that Eva was just staring at the dog as she was shocked in mid-air. She was paralyzed with fear as Naruto pushed his body and grabbed her arm and thrust her out of the way as the beam of light ripped through its arm, tearing it off, incinerating it in seconds. As the beam started to come more over Naruto's body as he was caught in its ray. As a huge fireball struck the dog right in his head, knocking the beam downward as Naruto collapsed on the ground. As X landed on the dog as he was the one who just fired the fireball. He then slammed his face on top of the dog's head, but the other head turned towards X as it opened its mouth. As X quickly jumped back before the dog could fire off his white beam. 5 flaming mouths covered in blue aura slammed right into the side of the dog's face from Yujito as X landed on the ground. Eva was still standing there in shock. "Eva! Eva!" Yujito called out. "Snap the hell out of it!" As Eva saw Naruto on the ground in pain, as his hand was slowly regrowing. As Eva knew that this dog make us heal very slow. As this thing was created to hunt down and kill vampires. They also use vampire blood to create it, so it was very hard to kill. Difficult. As Eva then rushed over to Naruto as she grabbed him and threw him over her shoulder. "You guys hold it off. For just for now," she said as she dashed off into the trees. As she rested Naruto against a tree. "Are you okay?" she said. As Naruto's hand fully grew. As he moved his hand around. "Don't worry, I'll be fine." "What the hell is that thing?" he asks. "That's a vampire hunter dog, aka V-Dog. I don't know how it got to this world." As her eyes then went wide. "They brought it here?" she wondered. "Huh?" Naruto said. "It's Remiel. But why would he do this now? And not out there when we were in the sand? Or could it be?" As she started shaking fear again. As Ezekiel and him torturing her started to ring through her mind. "Eva," Naruto said. "Snap out of it, okay? I already told you I won't let them hurt you no matter what." "Now this thing, what's his weakness?" he asks. "It don't really has any," she said. "It is incredibly strong and fast, and those beam of lights can incinerate anything with one touch. And it make us take longer to heal." She then snapped her head towards X, who was dodging the lights. "We can't let him get hit. It's gonna make him take an impossible time to heal, since he already healed slowly." "This is just a test," Naruto said. "What do you mean?" said Eva. "I feel like this Remiel person is just testing our strength to see what we're truly capable of. Because remember what he said, he's just here to observe and see what this world has to offer." As Naruto got to his feet, "But it doesn't matter. I'll show him." As Naruto's eyes turned red. As the dog snapped his two heads towards Naruto, it rushed past X and rushed past Yujito. As it was coming right after Eva, even though X was like them, the dog remembered that saint a long while back as it charged towards Eva. But Naruto landed right in front of it. "You have to get past me first, mutt," he said. But guys, me end this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this or know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notifications they posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in social media platform, and stay in tune for the rest of the series coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. I already posted a new episode of What If Orochimaru Was Naruto's Father, so go ahead and check out that and enjoy. And over on Anime King, I posted What If Kaguya Was Naruto's Mother. And later on, I'm going to be posting a brand new episode of What If Naruto's from the two greatest clans. So stay in tune for that, and I hope you guys enjoy each and every episode. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. But for now, I'm out of here. Peace.